Y'all just further now.
They will outright make an example of you if you choose to defend yourself or resist against being surrounded by a mob.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Case in point, Daniel Perry. Daniel Perry was found guilty of murder when he was surrounded and then had an AK-47 pointed at him, and when he decided to fire back, the jury found him guilty and no other party. So we're going to break this down. So we take this directly to The Guardian. U.S. Army Sergeant found guilty of murdering BLM protester in Austin, Texas. After an 8-day trial and 2 days of verdict deliberations, a jury in Travis County, Texas, found 33-year-old Daniel Perry guilty of murdering Air Force veteran Garrett Foster, 28. Perry is white, as was Foster. I love that they had to add that in there. What is the relevance, man? It's disgusting. They can't go 1 second without mentioning race or color or nothing like that. That's The Guardian for you. The article continues. The jury also found Perry not guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So at the same time they found him guilty of murder, they found him not guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Now, part of me is assuming that is because of the charge with his vehicle, them considering him using his vehicle as he was surrounded by the mob as engaging or using or handling a deadly weapon. So they'll use that against you. They'll use the fact that you were in your car at the time that you got surrounded by protesters. You're now operating a deadly weapon. So what, you're supposed to just like jump out of your car, like bail?
Oh shit!
Okay, so put a bookmark in this article because I want to show you where Greg Price is at on this, because this is where my first attention was averted before I went and read the article from The Guardian and posted. And Greg Price reads out, and if you haven't followed Greg Price, he's a really, really good Twitter journalist. I'm not really sure what else he does, what his background is, but I find a lot of his tweets and his threads to be very engaging and very on point for what he is talking about. So he summarizes again, Greg Price, working as an Uber driver in Austin, Texas, he found himself in the middle of a BLM mob. It reads, a guy came up to his car and pointed an AK-47 at him, and he fired back in self-defense. He was indicted for murder by a Soros-funded DA. Now this thread continues here. From Greg Price, the lead detective in the case concluded it was a justifiable homicide. So did the Austin Police Department. Yet Soros-funded Travis County DA Jose Garza, indicted him anyway and was accused by the detective of withholding evidence from the grand jury and witness tampering. Meanwhile, the guy Daniel Perry fatally shot had a history of threatening people with rifles at BLM protests. 24 sets of fingerprints were also found on Perry's car, showing that the mob was being anything but friendly. My thing is, is it just the nature of being surrounded by a group of people? Is that not enough to warrant that you are now being harassed if it now renders your ability to be mobile neutral? Like, say they're all being peaceful, but you're a random citizen on the road, and now you're surrounded by 30 people with signs, and say they're not even saying anything, say they're just not moving, but they're surrounding front to back, side to side in your vehicle. What are you supposed to do? Now I get, obviously trying to just like ram through people probably isn't the best solution, but let me be real. If you're asking me, and it's me and my fiance in a car, and we're surrounded by 30 people, is this the state telling me that I should just sit there and take it? That I should just sit there and be harassed for however long, wait for the cops to come handle it if they even do, or if they even do move the protest? What kind of faith am I supposed to have that the blue is going to come and ensure that I can get home safely? I don't have any credence or belief or faith in that, and neither should you. And Greg Price then links the video from the night Daniel Perry, an active duty Army sergeant, lawfully defended himself against a BLM rioter. So, I mean, in reality, like, if you show me that footage You ask me, well, if he was surrounded by 30 people, the jury admits that he pointed an AK even at the vehicle, at the direction of the guy. How are all bets not off at that point? Like, he's an individual surrounded by a group of people, and then one of these people in that group now points a rifle in his face. How is he being convicted of murder? Like, how does that make sense to you? Oh, it wasn't supposed to make sense. Because here we have, which I saw from DC Drano, Soros DA caught hiding exculpatory evidence in Daniel Perry's self-defense case. Detective said Soros DA I said it wrong twice now, forgive me. Jose Garza implicitly threatened him if he didn't delete evidence that proved self-defense. Time for Greg Abbott to free Daniel Perry and prosecute the corrupt prosecutor. Just like a crazy turn in the Daniel Perry case, the lead detective David Fugit just filed an affidavit claiming the Soros-backed DA had him remove over 100 pages of exculpatory evidence. The grand jury never got to see it. This is criminal, 100%. Now he quotes here, I firmly believe the district attorney's office acting under the authority of Jose P. Garza tampered with me as a witness. Now I already read through the affidavit. It's on the second one here. Read point number 5. I firmly believe that the DA's office acting under the authority of Jose P. Garza tampered with me as witness. Tampered with me as a witness. Often witness tampering is subtle. In this case, there were foreseeable consequences if I did not comply and tailor my grand jury presentation as directed, and failure to do so would adversely affect my working relationship with the DA's office for the foreseeable future. I was afforded no choice but to comply with the directives that were issued to me by Jose Garza through his assistants. The media needs to stop pretending that these are protests and not full-on riots, and they protect villains and bad people, and then they flame you the moment you decide to stand up for yourself and defend yourself. It disgusts me to no end. And yes, I'm right there with them. I'm glad somebody's finally standing up for themselves too. I get very tired of watching weak men do weak things over and over again. I think there are plenty of us who are well past this. I'm going to keep it short and at that. Peace.